Narcissistic individuals often display patterns of behaviour that are very harmful to those around them. And in order to maintain their sense of superiority and their sense of self-importance, a narcissistic individual will regularly make excuses and justifications for their actions so that they can avoid taking consequences for their behaviour. One of the most common ways in which a narcissistic individual will excuse their toxic behaviour is by simply shifting the blame onto somebody else. They will shift responsibility onto another person in order to avoid taking accountability for their own actions. As they avoid taking accountability for their own actions, as they fail to take responsibility, they don't see themselves as the problem, they don't learn from their behaviour, and they don't change their behaviour. They just alter their behaviour in order to manipulate people to get their needs met by others, which they believe they're entitled to have their needs met by others, and they lack the empathy to care for how their behaviour affects those around them. They're just looking to protect themselves, and they only care about how their behaviour might potentially affect themselves depending on what the people around them think about them. Now, when it comes to blaming other people, we are all more than capable of blaming other people rather than looking inwards at ourselves. And there is situations and circumstances where something isn't actually our fault. We often take responsibility for things that we're not responsible for. You can arrange to meet up with a family member at a certain time, and you can be going with a family member that you live with that always runs late. It gets ready late, gets out of bed late, jumps in the shower late, runs late. And when you get there, you can say, because you were the one that was driving, you can say, I'm sorry we were late, but they didn't get out of bed in time, because they actually didn't get out of bed in time. So in theory, you'd have probably messaged the person in this day and age, or called the person in this day and age to let them know that you're going to be running late, but you're on your way. A narcissistic individual will purposefully and repeatedly show up late with justifications and excuses as to why they're late, yet they'll fail to let you know, they'll fail to inform you. A narcissistic individual who cheats on people will either blame the person that they are with for not paying them enough attention, or blame the person they cheated with for not leaving them alone. They don't take responsibility for their own behaviour. Another manner that a narcissist will use to justify their behaviour is gaslighting. And the term gaslight is named after the play where the husband dimmed the gaslights and then denied all knowledge of anything happening and accusing his wife of imagining things. A narcissist will claim you saw things you didn't see, and they will claim you didn't see things you did actually see. They will claim they said things that they never said, and they will claim that they didn't say things that they did say. A narcissistic individual will manipulate situations to distort the truth, to make you doubt your own perception of reality. And this allows the narcissist to maintain their power and control over the situation. A narcissistic individual will also use deflection as a form of justification. They will redirect attention away from their own wrongdoings and point out all the flaws and all the mistakes of the person who is calling them out. This tactic helps the narcissist to deflect any criticism away from themselves and maintain a facade of superiority. This is when you'll often hear a narcissistic individual turn around and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot you were perfect." They're going to bring up anything and everything you've ever done wrong, rather than reflect on the present moment of what they potentially have done to hurt another person. They will deflect the topic of conversation onto something else. They will do anything and everything except for take responsibility for their behaviour. A narcissistic individual can also go all out to minimalize their behaviour. They will happily downplay the impact of their actions through forms of gaslighting. So they will hurt someone and then accuse them of overreacting to the situation. They will hurt someone's feelings and then accuse that person of being too sensitive in the situation. A narcissistic individual will downplay the impact of their actions and dismiss the concerns raised by those around them. And this allows the narcissist to go all out to continue their toxic behaviour without facing any forms of consequences for their actions. And through gaslighting, minimalization and deflection, a narcissist can use reactive abuse. So they can go all out to wind you up, to frustrate you, to get you going, to gain that normal human reaction from you where you react badly towards them. However, because you take responsibility, because you feel remorseful, because you have the empathy, you're the one that feels guilty. And when you react out towards them, they stand back, act shocked and calm and play the victim and, wow, didn't think you were capable of this. So they downplay their behaviour, gaslight your reality, deflect it straight onto you, minimalising what they've done and exaggerating what you've done. So they will exaggerate They will exaggerate a third person's participation in the events to downplay their own negative and toxic behaviour. They will happily go all out to rationalise and justify. They will come up with logical sounding explanations for their actions to make them seem acceptable. So they will be cruel, they will be sarcastic, they will have those subtle digs at you. And then when you speak out about how their toxic behaviour is negatively impacting you, they'll gaslight you and accuse you of being too sensitive. And they'll also justify by claiming that they were only joking, and then gaslight you by accusing you of not being able to take the joke, downplaying the severity of the situation to work in their favour. And as people can be sarcastic, as people can make a joke, it seems logical, it seems reasonable. However, a genuine person will often say, I didn't mean to offend you. This is who I am. I didn't mean to offend you. And they'll actually listen to your point of view. A narcissist, well, they'll just go all out to distract you and blame you and find a way to bring the attention back on themselves. They will go all out to sulk and fall silent on you to get the attention back onto themselves, to get you to feel sorry for them. They use a ton of manipulation to excuse their behaviour. They will turn up the charismatic charm and manipulation to appear to be nicer and kinder than they actually are, to gain enablers and fly monkeys to their side, to back them up, to deceive others. Anything they can to avoid taking responsibility and facing consequences for their actions. They will go all out to play the victim in the situation, so you feel like you can't call them out, because whenever you do, they turn into the biggest victim you've ever met and you're the one that feels bad. They will go all out to guilt trip you, to make you feel responsible for everything that they do wrong, to make you take responsibility for the things that they're unwilling to take responsibility for that aren't your fault. A narcissist will go all out to use a variety of tactics to excuse and justify their toxic behaviour in order to maintain their sense of superiority and control over others, in order to avoid taking responsibility for their actions, and so that they don't have to face the consequences for their negative behaviour. It's all those around them that ends up facing the consequences for the narcissist behaviour, while the narcissist moves on to someone who's unaware of their behaviour. Any games you notice that a narcissist plays to excuse or justify their toxic behaviour, please do add those into the comments for people reading through. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you are looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon: 15 Rules to Deal with Narcissistic People If You Cannot Go No Contact, a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, and how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries. If you'd like to go and check those out, they'll be in the description also. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.